Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a review and also a tutorial of one of my favorite palettes of the summer. I contemplated not doing a review or a tutorial with it at all because I thought that since it had come out a while ago that I didn't want to overwhelm people with reviews and swatches and all that stuff of the same palette over and over. But honestly, it was one of my favorite palettes of the summer, and that's the Queen Graveyard Girl palette. I loved this palette. I bought it like literally the day it came out in Ulta. I was so excited. I'd seen pictures from people that had gotten it in PR and I wanted it so bad. And honestly, mine is like jacked up. Like, I've been in this palette all summer. I've absolutely loved it. I think that Bunny and Tarte nailed this palette. I have still seen it around, so if you don't have it, I think there is the ability to still get it. I love it, and so I definitely wanted to do some sort of tutorial with it because I've been wearing it all summer long and it's going to transition very well into fall. So that's what I wanted to do. I'm gonna just review it really quickly. I don't want to beat a dead horse because, again, so many people have reviewed this palette, but I love even some of the shades that people have complained about. I love. The only shade that I do not like in this palette, the only one, is the Sweet Tea Bronzer. And that's just a personal preference thing. I tend to like cooler tone bronzers, and this one is a very warm tone ready bronzer, but I do love the blush shade. I do love the highlight. Even Sippy Sippy, which is a shade that a lot of people have not loved, I absolutely love it. I use it a lot on my lower lash line. I think it's a gorgeous eyeshadow. I will admit that there is some kick up with this, some powder kick up with this palette, but honestly it's not any worse or any better than any of my other palettes. And honestly, the pigmentation and the color payoff really like trump that for me. There's a really good assortment of shades. There's matte shades and there's shimmer shades, and I think the shimmer shades are dynamite. The only one that's really packed with glitter is Sippy Sippy, so if you don't really like a ton of glitter, SFS and then Sassy Bun and Uncommon are just shimmer. They're not full of glitter. And then Dogman does have a little bit of sparkle, but it's mostly a matte shade. There is sparkle in almost every single one of the eyeshadows, but even the matte shades, but not an overwhelmingly amount. There is a lot of glitter in the highlight, so if you're more of like an illuminating highlight person, this probably wouldn't be for you. I love glitter highlights. I think they're so pretty. I do not mind glitter on my face at all. And the same with the blush. The blush is a very shimmery blush, but I think it is so flattering on different people. I, of course, do wish that the face shades catered to more darker skin tones. I think that is an overwhelming problem in the beauty industry. I wish that when they came out with palettes like this that they would come out with at least 2 different variations, one for paler skin and one for deeper skin tones. But unfortunately, this is, again, another one that does not. So yeah, that's my review of it. I absolutely love it. If you came here expecting like a hate review, that's not what I'm going to give this palette. I absolutely love it. So I'm not exactly what kind of look I'm going to create. I'm just going to kind of wing it and hope for the best. So I'm going to zoom you guys closer and show you a different look, hopefully, than what you've seen. I will also link a couple of tutorials that I really enjoyed of this palette, one of them being Jeffree's tutorial. Oh my god, Jeffree Star's tutorial of this palette was gorgeous. So I'll link that down below. I tend to have more boring looks with palettes. I don't know, I like to do things that I can transition from work to night. I'm not a big smoky eye person, so yeah. Stay tuned, and I'll also be reviewing a couple of newer products. Almost half of what is going on my face is I've either only tried once or never tried before. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm actually going to start with the shade Peaches as a transition shade. I also used my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer as an eyeshadow primer, and then I set that with Big Baby, but I just did not show that in my tutorial. I then went into Man Cat to deepen the crease even more. I used a smaller fluffy crease brush. The one I'm using is Sonia Kashuk, but any smaller crease crease blush will do. As long as it's fluffy, it'll get the job done. I don't close my eyes for this because I have hooded eyelids, and I use my hood, I guess, to guide myself when I'm doing my crease. I then went in to Sassy Bun and patted that down with a small flat brush on the inner corner of my eye. And anytime you see me blending everything out, I use a big fluffy crease brush. The one I use is from e.l.f. I then went into the shade Man Cat, and I used that with that small crease brush to deepen the crease even more in the outer corner. I then went into Uncommon and used a flat brush to pat that down on the outer corner to give my eyes a little bit more dimension and to blend it in with the Man Cat on my crease. I went in again with a big fluffy brush to blend everything out, and I wanted to add some more shimmer to my inner corner, so I did that. And then I used a brown gel liner to tightline. The one I used was from Clinique, but any one will do. For my foundation, I used the new Anastasia foundation stick. My shade was Warm Porcelain. I've actually, since this video, gotten a dense Sephora brush in order to apply this foundation. It applies much better with a brush. However, it does apply well with a beauty blender, so if you don't want to go out and buy a brush, it really isn't a big deal. It does go on really well. I tried the new Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Light. It has a really nice big fat doe foot applicator, which is great to cover a whole lot of things. It was really thick, and I did find it a little bit difficult to blend. However, I did enjoy it. I just think I like my Too Faced Born This Way concealer better. This also was a little light for me. I probably should get a shade darker. I then went in with Coty Airspun. This is actually the neutral shade, not the translucent shade. And I'm going to bake today. I don't always bake. Sometimes I just set with loose powder. But this was my second time using it, and I really, really enjoy this powder. It is definitely worth the hype. I then went in with my all-time favorite mascara, the Benefit Roller Lash. I heard they're coming out with a brown one, and I literally could not be more excited. I normally curl my lashes, but of course I forgot for this video, so my eyelashes look a little flatter than I would like. Falsies would also be really good with this look, but me and falsies do not always get along. I have that small eye life, and sometimes falsies make my eyes look even smaller and beadier than they already are. I then went in with my favorite bronzer, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm not contouring today, I'm simply bronzing up my face with it's a smaller powder brush. Mine's from Sonia Kashuk, and I did bronze on my contour line just to give my face a little bit more dimension, make it look a little bit skinny, but for the most part I just want to bronze up my pale skin since it is summertime after all. I also bronze my forehead and my jawline, and as you can see, my face is still baking. I then did my brows. I used the new M Cosmetics from the girl that developed Ipsy. It's her brow pencil in bronze. I normally go for really bold, crazy lashes that aren't nice and neat, but today for this look I wanted to tone it down a little bit. I also go in with the Benefit Gimme Brow in shade 1, and that kind of keeps my lashes nice and neat, keeps them in place all day. I then went in with a huge fluffy brush just to get all that bake off. And then I went in with my Maybelline Better Skin Powder, that's in the shade Porcelain, and I just set my whole face, and yes, I did put that over top of the bronzer, I know.
Then I go in with the blush, and as you can see, whoops, I went in with a little bit too heavy of a hand. Remember to always tap off the excess, otherwise you will look crazy like a clown. And you will spend the next 8 minutes blending, because that is exactly how long it took me to blend. This is just sped up 8 times as fast. I then went in and highlighted with gator wings using a Real Techniques stippling brush. And then I lined my lower lash line with Sippy Sippy, but again, that's a super, super, super pigmented eyeshadow, so remember to tap off the excess. I didn't, so my lower lash line, I normally don't go for that bold of a look, but I actually ended up enjoying the way it looks. I would also normally add more mascara to my bottom lash line, but of course, knowing me, I forgot. I then went in with a Lord & Berry lip crayon. I'm not sure what shade this is, but it's a very deep mauve pink. However, when it goes on, it's almost the same shade as my lips. So I would use this again as a lip liner. I had wanted to use it all over my lips, but I just didn't really enjoy the way it looked. However, it did apply really well, and it was nice and matte. But I ended up going back in with a Ultra Satin Lip from ColourPop. That is my all-time favorite liquid lipstick.
So that completes this look. I actually forgot to put on primer, so I think I'll really like this foundation with a primer. I used the brand new Anastasia Stick Foundation, which is supposed to be amazing for oily skin, and I just forgot to put on a primer with it. Is that lipstick on my teeth? Okay, the new products that I used aside from the Anastasia foundation stick, I also used Coty Airspun. I've only used that one other time, and it was in a different video. I think that was in my, oh my goodness, oh, my Ride or Die tag, because I do not have, or I didn't have a Ride or Die loose powder, and I really love that powder, but it is just super messy. But I mean, all loose powders are. Another thing about the foundation, I think this would go on better with a brush rather than a beauty blender, but I just really, I don't know, I don't like using brushes for my face, so I don't know. I'll probably have to just suck it up and use one, because I think it would apply better with a brush. I did have to go in a couple of times with it, which I will show you. You don't get a whole lot of product. You get around that much, and it's $25, which I don't know. I mean, if you look at liquid foundations, you get about an ounce, and that's $40, and with this you get 0.35 ounces, so you get less than half, but you're paying more than half. So I don't know if this is a deal or anything like that. However, if I like this foundation, I don't know, I might have to go out and buy it again, because I did love the way that it applied. It was so much creamier than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. But anyway, this is about the palette, and it's not about this stick. The other new thing I used was the lip pencil, which I got in an Ipsy bag. But I actually decided to go over that with a ColourPop satin lip in the shade Alyssa. It's this little guy right here. The thing is rubbing off, but that's how much I used that. And then I think that was all the new stuff I used. So yeah, thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button if you want to see me put out more content. I put out really irregularly, but you know, subscribe and you'll get notified whenever I do post something. So I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!